My name is Ujjwal. I'm a data scientist. I graduated from Imperial College, London with Masters in Business Analytics, and I'm a Commonwealth Scholar from India. Back in India, I did software engineering.
Well, it's amazing to meet you. And
Same here, likewise.
I'm a big fan of Imperial College, who are backing my forthcoming book, which comes out in March, actually, 2023. How was it, Imperial?
Yeah, it was a life-changing experience, actually. I exposed to 85 nationalities in a single classroom. It was quite intense, but yeah, challenges time make us more strong. So that's why I learned a lot. And it's not only about learning technology or learning the course which you are doing. It's all about learning different cultures and how to mingle up with different personality, different nationalities. It's overall a unique experience, I should say, and that helped me a lot to boost my career.
And how have you applied what you studied at university to your career? Like, what are you doing now?
Yeah, so I completed, as I told you, I did my master's in business analytics, that is from 2019 to 2020 cohort, and the course was ranked second in the world, and I got distinction. So after graduating from there, I was looking for openings overall in the IT sector and consulting firms and everywhere. But due to COVID, hiring was mostly freezed. So luckily, I got few interview calls, and I applied online through LinkedIn, as well as I took some help from the career team of Imperial College London. They were really helpful in amending CVs and guiding all the students how we should proceed further. So yeah, I applied online and then I got few interview calls, and based on that, I got one offer letter from Cognizant, and they offered me a data scientist role. That's how I joined data scientist role in Cognizant.
And what do you actually do?
So in terms of data science, it's like if you ask me as a data scientist what my role should be and how I should go, so it depends on firm to firm and project to project, requirements vary. But basically, a data scientist means you can get data from any industry. It could be supply chain, it could be marketing, it could be financial, it could be workforce analytics. So any industry, you should have some data, or there are so many steps to process that data cleaning, data mapping, data wrangling, data architecture. So there's a lot of backend work. It depends where you are. So I am at data scientist position. My role is, when you have the data in hand, when you have the clean data, then then business people will come and ask you some questions. Like, suppose I'll put a case study here. Suppose there is a business which is running from last 10 years, and in the last 2 years something happened that they are not progressing in a particular domain. So the business stakeholder wants to ask me, why is this happening? I have this data from last 10 years. Can you help me resolve this problem? And I'll tell him based on the previous data that I have in my hand, by applying my knowledge, like we use different languages, Python, R, to visualize that data. And then we have different models. Depending on the different industry, like machine learning models, I can predict what can happen in future and what has happened wrong previously. Why is his business not growing that well? So it can be any industry. So it is about solving the business problem using the technical background, and how we can make a difference in the world, how we can improve overall business strategies, and how we can improve a financial status of any firm. So it can be anything which you want to tackle out. Suppose any small problem, like why there are so many robbery things are going on these days in London, why people are having like why living cost is increasing so much. So data analysis can be applied in any field, right? That is my ask. Based on the problem, I apply some machine learning models and I predict, and then I explain to the business people how we can solve that problem using our technology. So this is what my basic role is.
It sounds very technical, very mathematical. There seems to be coding involved.
Yes.
It sounds basically digital, and the future is digital.
Exactly.
As a woman, and a woman of maybe ethnic minority, as we would consider in the UK, what's that been like? Are you like heavily underrepresented?
It depends. Like, I should say it's a mixed feeling. Sometimes you feel during your working hours or wherever you are working, like you are not being heard what you want to say. But then there are people. It's a mixed culture, right? So it's not like I'm working in an environment where I am underrepresented or like this. I have equal rights. I can speak about whatever I want and I can put my point forward. But in terms of leadership and rising high, like going to the leadership position, or if you want to make a difference, really, sometimes it is like you being cut down or your voice is not heard because you are at a junior level and they think like she is still learning or that kind of things happen, and it's everywhere. It's not like just for me. But if you say like underrepresented, I would not say underrepresented, but yeah, I mean, not that much power has given to me that I can take my own decisions, or if I want to change the way of working in few of the projects, I can do it on my own. No, there are two reasons for that. One is maybe because they consider you are coming from that background. Second is maybe because it is more male dominated society in when you talk about IT and data science is still like booming. It's in the child phase, right? It's an infant in UK particularly. In US it's growing very quickly, but when we talk about UK, it's still in the child phase. So I should say like there are several factors which are responsible for this kind of environment and behavior, and sometimes I face that, but I have my own ways of tackling these problems, and I think I'm doing pretty well in tackling all those circumstances. But yeah, as you talk about digitalization, I would like to highlight here, as these days our Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also suggested that digital transformation is the main cause we want to work for. And recently in G20 summit, he gave the very first line that this is women empowerment and digital transformation is what we need to bring the changes about, and we need to bring a change in the society. Actually, it's all about mindset. So I would like to say. We are progressing slowly, but we will reach that point. Days are not that far. I think we can, if more girls will come like me again and again, they want to prove themselves and they want to do something away from their hierarchy, what their families have done. Like if I tell you about my life or my journey, like my parental about my background and all. So both my parents are like humanitarians. They did their literature studies. So they went to universities in India. They are very well educated. Both are teachers, but they don't come from technical background. I'm the only one in my family. So I'm kind of an outlier. And I found out my own way. I have no back or no support, like someone is pushing me or doing this work. So in terms of when you are the only one who wants to fight for yourself, it's become challenging sometimes, but then there comes this point of perseverance. That's what we call perseverance, right? If you can perceive through those circumstances, it means you don't need anyone for your support. Like you have enough within you that you can prove yourself. And I strongly believe in karma. So if you do your work with your full will, energy and power and positive attitude, no one can stop you. No one can stop you.
Why did you decide to persevere in data science?
Okay, so this is very interesting question, and I would go back a little bit towards my educational background in this particular thing. So back in India, I'm a gold medalist from Punjab Technical University. I did my BTech in computer science engineering from Chandigarh, and then my inclination was to do a master's abroad. And I was looking for all the sectors, like which thing can offer me the best. So while doing this research, doing some R&D, talking to a few of the colleagues, talking to a few of my senior members whom I knew who were doing good in IT and stuff, but they were always like, IT industry is so fast paced and it changes so quickly. in terms of technical aspects, if I talk about, it is very, I mean, no one can give you a one liner answer what you should do and where you should go, right? So you have to put your own mindset. I always wanted to do a mix of business and technology. Then I was looking for those courses which can offer me a good career after graduating. It's not about just doing a course and getting a degree. It's about how you want to make a difference after doing that. So I found out business analytics is a very booming field. And then I did some research which course is ranked and which university I should target for. So I was targeting MIT, which was in US, and the course was ranked first in the world. And then second was Imperial College London. That year, 2019 to 20, their course was ranked second in the world. So unfortunately, I missed the deadline of MIT, and then I applied to Imperial College London, and luckily I was fortunate enough, I got an offer letter from there along with full scholarship. I applied for Commonwealth scholarship, and that's how I landed here. But my inclination behind choosing data science, my course was not core data science. This master's was a mix of data and business. It was more towards business, but there were few modules which were particularly heavy in data science, like machine learning, advanced machine learning, and all those. As I come from computer science background, they were quite handy on for me. Whereas if I talk about financial analytics and all those modules, they were a bit tricky for me because I didn't come from finance background. So my inclination towards maths since childhood, I was a distinction holder throughout my academic background. I was gold medalist and topper of each class, and my parents were also teachers, so they always pushed me towards education, towards maths. And my mother's favorite subject is maths, so maybe that's why I am very good in maths, and my inclination was always towards math, science, and all these subjects. That's how I landed in data science.
Well,
That is what I wanted to say. Yeah.
I must say you sound so impressive and so clever.
Thank you.
It's really inspiring to see a woman excelling in a field that tends to be quite male dominated. The question I have for you is, how is it in reality being so smart and so good in a technical field and being in a male dominated industry? Like, how do you generate respect and authority for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, you asked me a very deep question. Thanks for asking. Like sometimes we feel like someone that should be there to discuss all these things. I think you should be somewhere in the head of all these organizations where you can maintain equality and diversity, I should say. But yeah, so when you say male dominated society, I mean, it's all in the mind. My perspective of this thing is like it's all in the mind. If you feel it, you will feel it more. And if you take it like it's okay, they are also human beings, and like because they have not seen this exceptional, or what you can say, an outlier perspective of something, which can be like someone can be unique and someone can stand equal to you as well. It doesn't matter which gender she is from, like she or he is. I mean, it's when you are talking about giving respect, there are few things within the organization where I feel like more included. Like if I want to give you an example, diversity and inclusion team is there, so I contribute as much as I can to them. And I am very I'm very keen about supporting humanities, giving back to the society, helping women education, or underprivileged people, helping people who are disabled. So that kind of thing I want to I try to volunteer as much as I can where I'm working right now. But even if you are standing out in those things very differently and everyone is having an eye on you, like why is she so vibrant, why is she going everywhere, she is like she should be at one place and she should be like whatever we are telling her, she just have to do that and keep silent. Few people think that way, and which is, I think it's not they are wrong, it's about the environment they are bringing up and brought up and they have worked so far. So they have not seen that difference. Like they I think they need some more examples. We need some more girls to empower to reach at that level, and who can prove themselves. So it's when you say respect, I think if you respect yourself, then the whole world will respect you, right? And if it's in our own mind and in our own reason how we see things. But as we are talking about male dominated society, you said, and how you perceive your, where everyone is male and you are, I can give you an example. There was a project and we were a team of around 50 people, and there were only two females. We both were from South Asian background. So I mean, even when you dine in with them on a Christmas Eve or for a party, you go somewhere, you feel like, yes, you're working because that's the need of the hour, and you want to upskill yourself, you want to take your career ahead, but there is a huge gender gap. There's a huge gender gap. And I don't know how we can encourage within UK, Europe, and Asian continent and everywhere. This is I mean, high time to encourage women to enter into tech and to understand their value. They have equal mind. Even I should say they have better management skills, and even girls are more tolerant when it comes to pressurized situation within IT when you're working, because in every field you have every kind of all kind of circumstances. It's not like always a win-win situation, always you will be happy, or you have very like polite environment and very good. So you will feel any kind of stresses, any kind of like maybe debates, healthy debates, unhealthy debates in a work environment. So we should make ourselves proud that we are equally capable of the other gender, and we should not see ourselves as a like what you can say, as a slave of someone, right? We are not slave, we are not dependent, we are what you can say, a force. We have everything within us. So that's how I think I see things from my perspective.
Asian parents do tend to be quite pushy.
Yeah, they
Um,
do.
how have you managed that? And what I hope that will lead on to as an answer is the other aspects of being a woman, like motherhood and things like that. So first question, like, how have you managed pushy parents? Assuming you had them.
No, actually, to be honest with you, they always wanted me to grow. I think they're the pushy parents. When we talk about pushy parents, I think this is the reason why we all South Asian kids do so well as compared to other societies. Right? I should not. We should not forget this fact. It is because of those parents we are here. If they were not there, we might not have ended up where we are, right? But yeah, there are two ways of saying this. One is when you let your kid to do whatever they want to do. It comes from two things. Maybe you have abundance of wealth, which makes your decision quite easy to take to, right? If your parents are pretty rich and wealthy Asian, you are coming from a rich Asian family, then they will not push you because they already have a lot of business which you can contribute to, and you need not to worry about your bread, basically, right? So these two factors are very important when we talk about all these things. And I should say, I don't come from a very wealthy one, neither I come from a below average, right? I come from a upper middle class. So what happens is, when I was doing so well into academics, the reason was because both my parents are teachers, and the environment of my home was quite towards education, towards study, always inclined towards reading books, or maybe doing something productive, not wasting your time on movies and playing games. I was never interested on those. Even if you talk to me today, I think I have never seen a movie in London. I have never went to a theater. I spend my time reading books. I spend my time like researching about what other researchers are doing, where we are heading, where India is heading, what G20 is going on. So it is like you develop all those things after a certain age and the experiences you have been through. It is not like I was born with all this. No, I learned all this through the circumstances or the preparation or the books that I read throughout my life. So when you say pushy parents, I am thankful to them actually for being pushy in my case, because they were pushy. That's how I come here, and that's how I landed in Imperial, and that's how I'm doing my job as a data scientist. I think their pushiness is something for the betterment of their kid. They never pushed me to do something which I never wanted. Even I wanted to highlight one thing here. While I came first time outside the country, I was in UK and I got admitted in Imperial College London, and it was going so intense for me because I come from northern part of India, and there the culture is quite mingling up, very much socialized, right? But in when I landed in Imperial, it was a bit different. People were not that much socializing or mingling up with me. They were like, it's not anti-social, but it's a bit lonely, you can say. So you're on your own. And I felt a lot. I still remember on a call with my mother, I started crying. And I was like, I don't know whether I'll be able to sustain here or not on my own. It's going quite rough for me. Heavy assignments, every day, 9 to 5 classes, quizzes. It's very heavy. And I still remember what my mother said. Despite of being here on full scholarship and everything, she said, come back. You need not to take that much pressure. We don't want our kid to lose mental stability. You can come back anytime. So she is so polite and she is always ready to do something for me. And my father was always like, he was never, to be honest with you, he was never ready to let me go outside of the country because of the emotional attachment, maybe we can say. And second thing, he always think like, you're so bright, you can do very well in India, what is the need to go outside? But my perspective of thinking was, I need to explore. I'm not going, I don't want to leave the country. It's not about like I don't like India or something else. No, India is a great country, right? We have so much to do over there. But the thing is, I want to look at the outer world. If I remain in the same cage where I'm born and brought up, how can I see the things outside of the world? You need to get that, like, get out of your comfort zone to experience. And that's what I faced a lot. Like, I was on my own here. I survived. It was so difficult. I even didn't know a single person in London. It was a lonely hustle to find rooms, rents, and where to go, what to do, how to do. Overall, a new environment, new culture, new study patrons, everything was new. But I strived, and now I'm that much capable. Like, if you leave me in a desert, I'll be happy to survive there on my own. So that now that strength comes from this experience. So that is why I'm connecting the dots. So if the parents are pushy, that's why we are doing so well.
What's it like being in the UK? And let me just tell you what it's like for me. Sometimes when I'm amongst friends, I describe my experience being in the UK. I mean, I was born and raised in the UK. Okay. So I don't know anywhere else. I don't speak Sinhalese. My dad's from Sri Lanka. My mum's from Malaysia. I don't speak Malaysian. I just speak English.
Yeah.
But I have always felt growing up, this is the analogy I use, like a palm tree in the middle of Hyde Park, where I have a beautiful environment to grow up in. There's lots of rain, there's really fertile soil, you know, it's beautiful, it's luscious, but fundamentally I feel like a misfit, I'm a tree, but for some reason I just feel a bit different to the other trees around me. You know, that's been my experience. For you, growing up in India and coming here to pursue your career, what has that been like for you?
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I felt the same way as you are telling earlier during my student phase. And but after getting the job, I would say it's not the same. Now I'm feeling much more included In terms of family and friend circle, I still miss my friends and family, right? They are not here. But even if I think about going back to India, they all have moved up. Like they might have left for Canada, US. Most of my friends are like now in any other country, like it's worldwide. So even if I go back to India, I have to start my life from scratch, right? From zero. So it's same for me at both the places. Only missing part is my family. Like I don't have my father, mother, or brother with me here, and there I could have them. That is the only missing part. Otherwise, I think I am more adaptable. That's what I want to highlight here. I don't have much problem to shift things. I think now I am still like a step ahead in this. Earlier, I was not. I was like I left when I was 16 or 17 years old. I started staying away from my parents because I was doing my studies, BTech, and they were in a different hometown, and I was in a different hometown. Though my brother was always with me, that was a support for last 5 6 years. And even when I came to London, he also came to do his masters here. So that year he was with me. But after that, now I'm surviving on my own, and I think yeah, you're right. You will not feel always included. That's a fact. That's true. We can't deny that. But for career growth, for progression, and if I think like in terms of my where I see myself 5 years or 6 years down the line. So the exposure of this environment is must for that. That is what I wanted to highlight, or that is what I'm thinking right now in my mind. I might go to US as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll apply for a PhD or something. That's a future plan. So I might shift. I might change the country again because now I'm adaptable to it. I built up a habit of surviving on my own. Again, I would like to highlight I was not born with these qualities. These all come from the experiences. And I think we should also learn one thing. Earlier, I was too much emotionally attached person. I used to like if I'm talking to you, I'll get attached to you very easily, and I'll consider you as my best friend, and I'll talk to you like I'll share everything with you. But after so many experiences, I learned there should not be any emotional attachment with anyone. I mean, in terms of your parents, yeah, you know them. They have like they bring us in to you in this world, and they have done so much for you. That's okay. But in terms of friendships and all, I think we should be careful about it with whom we are getting emotionally attached. Otherwise, it can sometimes give you emotional breakdown as well, and that really hampers your career growth, or maybe sometimes in your personal life. So, as you said, like you're a palm tree and very beautiful, everything is so good, but you feel like bit alone. That can happen anywhere, even if you are in the same society. Like as you said, your dad comes from Malaysia and your mother comes from Sri Lanka, right? That's what you mentioned.
Way round.
Okay, we're around. Okay,
So can
yeah.
I
So
say something? I don't know whether it's the case now, but
yeah,
there was always this stereotype that Asians want boys. Boys are somehow more,
prioritize.
yeah, prioritized, and girls are somehow subordinate, and that girls and women have this role to raise a family, have children, all of these cultural differences. Or maybe it's not cultural differences, maybe that's just globally women are expected to have children.
Mhm.
How does that fit in with your plan, assuming that you have this conditioning in your mind given that you grew up in India?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're not forcing me anything on this point. It's my personal life. I think I'm lucky enough, and I thank God for this. Both my parents are educated, and they're not forcing me. It's my decision whom I have to choose and whom I have to reject. And I already made several decisions like this before in my life on my own. And I'm very proud of it, what I have made the decisions so far. And I think it's not about what they think or what society thinks. When you are so mature, you have very good education and everything, it's your personal decision, right? And even in terms of,
So then
sorry.
in terms of personal decision, how do you see your life going in terms of trying to fit in everything that a woman could do? The reason why I ask is because women in science and technical fields, you know, they can be brilliant like you, extremely talented, extremely smart, so much opportunity for them.
Yeah.
But it can often mean that you're on this track, which
Mm-hmm.
means you don't actually have the bandwidth to like become a mom, become a wife, become all these traditional roles. Like, how do you see all of that unfolding?
Yeah, you are right. I mean, sometimes it happens with these challenging jobs and 9 to 5 work schedules that we don't get that much time for family culture or maybe finding someone right fit or like all those things. But they are same for everyone, right? I mean, you choose this field because you were inclined towards it. It's not like you choose this field that's why you are becoming victim of other things, right? It was your personal choice to jump into this field, and I was already aware of all these things before. Like if I'm jumping into this field, my life would be like that, and I'm still on that track. I don't find it challenging, to be honest. For me, it's quite smooth, and I have time for everything which I want to give to. But it's again my decision, my personal choice, whom I want to give to that time or not. But there is no problem in that sense. And I would say it's again comes to management, how you manage things. So we all have 24 hours in a day, and I think I'm pretty good to manage all these things. Yeah,
Wow. You
so
sound
far.
very focused and very sure of your path.
To be honest, we should never stick to one path, I would say here. We should always keep ourselves open to everything, whatever is coming our way. But yeah, be mindful of whatever you want to choose, and also be mindful of the circumstances, what can happen once you choose that track. So I might not be 100% sure about something, but if I am, then I will do it with my whole heart. And I also want to do the next person to do the same way, otherwise there is no communication. So I mean, for me, as I already told you, wealth is not a perspective when it comes to personal decisions or stuff. I would choose someone who is wholeheartedly willing, even if I have nothing. And even if I have everything, then obviously everybody will talk to me. These days I'm getting so many messages. Earlier, I was the same girl. I was in India. I was at the same place. I knew those people earlier as well. But now they are reaching out to me. Why? Because of the success. So people salute your success. People don't like you, right? They like your success. They like your status. And you need to draw that line. You need to choose like who is really with you and who is just with you because of your status. So I would like to say this thing here, as you are asking me a bit personal experiences and how you're tackling these things. So this is my criteria. Wealth
Wow,
is optional. Yeah.
incredible. Well, you know, I do congratulate you on your successes. You sound extremely focused and very driven and ambitious, but in a way that does good for the world,
Yeah.
and contributes. And I find that really refreshing. Um, you're inspirational because it's really inspiring to be around someone who just wants to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And so thank you for sharing your perspectives, because I think I certainly walk away from this conversation feeling empowered, because you really you have a perspective that's extremely strong and resilient. So thank you.
No, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for inviting me for this. I really appreciate your questions and the way you asked me about my personal life and everything. I really feel lucky that I have someone who wants to listen to me. And thanks again. Thank you so much.